Now that we've built our table, let's build some chairs. First, if you're having trouble deselecting your table, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are at the top level of the hierarchy for the edit mesh. Right now you can see we're on polygon, so I can select various polygons. What I want to do is I want to go up here to where it says edit mesh. That's the top of the stack. So if I was on polygons, I can go there. The other thing that I could do is, let's say if I was on polygons, is just click the polygon. Again, that'll bring me up to the top of the stack. Now, I can do things like move the table as a whole, or select objects, or deselect it. Alrighty, so we've got our table built, and let's select everything over here by clicking on the back wall, which is on top, holding down our Shift key, clicking on right wall at the bottom, and clicking the eyeball. That turns everything off. Click over here, nothing selected. In essence, isolating this area. All right, let's build a chair. I'm going to go to the Create tab in my command panel and go to Box. Dragging out a box. Doesn't matter what size it is. I'll right click and then go over here to the Modify tab. I'm going to call this Chair. Alrighty. Now, in my chair, you might have length and width segments left over from when you made your table. That's alright. We'll change those now. I'm going to make the length 2 feet, the width 2 feet, and the height about 1.5 inches. 1.5, then the quotation mark. That gives me inches. Okay, good enough. For the segments, let's give it a lot of segments. So we already had 24 length. Let's give it 24 for the width, but the height we'll still just leave at 1. Hopefully, in your default shading, you have display selected with edge faces checked. If not, then check it so that you can see the segments. By the way, Alt W, you have to do that for all your views if you want to see that in the various viewports. You see how it's not selected here? Now it is. In here, it is selected. In here, it is not selected. Let's select it. Okay, so back to our top. Alt W to bring it in. All right, selecting that, and we should see our segments. There we go. There's our segments. Okay, so right now the seat of our chair, that's what this is going to be, is the seat, is a little bit square. So let's make it a little bit more shapely. Okay, start by turning this parametric or primitive object into an editable object. We've got our parameters set, and that's important to do that now with the number of segments, etc. We'll go in here to what's called the stack. We'll right click and we'll go to Edit Mesh, changing it to an editable mesh. Now we're going to select our vertices. And we're going to come down here and we're going to choose Soft Select. Soft Select is a rollout that's oftentimes closed when you first come to it. Just click the triangle and it'll open it up. We're going to say, OK, use Soft Select. Going over here, we want to select just the first corner. Very important to draw a marquee. And once again, I'm in the top view right here. And in doing so, I will have selected this corner, but also you'll see I will have selected the bottom corner down here as well. Back to my top view. The other thing that you'll see is that in Soft Select, the selection becomes a rainbow. Where it's red, it selects the most, or it moves the most. Where it's here in the blue, it's affected the least. All right. I want to control click and get all the corners. So I'm holding down my control key, draw a marquee, catch that corner, this corner, and this corner. By the way, if your chair turns out looking a little bit different than mine, that's okay. Okay, so we've got the soft select, and I think what I want to do is I want to change the fall off. In other words, the amount of area that is affected by the soft select. You'll see if I roll this up, it becomes more intense, the selection. If I roll it back, it becomes less intense. For this project, I found that an intensity of about 10 inches was good. So in here, I'm just going to highlight that, change it to 10 inches. Now, if I was to move these, you would see it would just either move one way or the other. But if I want to maybe move them all in at once, what I'll do is I'll select the scale tool. With the scale tool, I'm just going to bring it in on that x-axis. There it is. That's looking kind of nice. Not bad. Not bad at all. And these corners, they're a little bit sharp. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off Soft Select and sculpt them just a little bit. Selecting just the corner over here, for instance, and my Move tool, moving that in just a little bit. This one the same, just a bit, just around that. And here. And here. Once again, this is the power of orthographic, because by being in orthographic, everything is lined up. So you can see I'm selecting both of these at the same time. Moving that in. Not too bad. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to extrude this edge right here to make the chair's back. Okay, well, if I was to draw a marquee, my Safe tool over here, well, that might be kind of difficult because it's curved. What I can do instead is change the way that I select. I'm going to change from a square marquee down to what's called the paint can. And I'm going to change from vertices to polygons. Over here in the stack, remember we can open that up. Now I'm going to change it to polygons. That way I don't have to come over here and roll it up and down. With the paint can selected and the polygon selected, I'm just going to take and hold down my left click button, and I can just paint the selection that I want. Okay, well, we're looking pretty good so far, but if we were to turn it this way, we can see that a little bit more is selected than what I want. What I really want is just this top row right here to extrude these polygons out. So what I'll do is I'll go here to my front view. Once again, we're in orthographic, so everything is lined up. And remember how you could use your Control key and then select multiple things. You could also use your Alt key to deselect things. So holding down my Alt key, I'm going to use that same paint can select and deselect all the other polygons that I don't want. And you can see now I have just that top edge. I'm going to go to P for perspective. And I'm going to extrude these polygons. So come on down here to my extrude. And I think I'm going to extrude them about 2 feet. So 2, enter. And I'll get my chair back. It's a little stiff, so while these polygons are selected, I'll just go over here to my Move tool, which will also deselect my extrude, and just pull them back a little bit. And you can see how having that gizmo is really nice because I can be very precise in the way that I want to move things. So for instance, moving this just straight back this way, I don't get any movement in other directions. Alrighty, pretty good. Well, that's nice enough, but what about the legs?